Well, good morning. Aaron, do we have everyone checked in?
We have a quorum. Supervisor Fletcher has not joined yet.
Jim, I have a quick question. So when you do the pledge, how does that work? Do we stand at our desks or what do we do?
Whatever you'd like, stand at your desk and face the flag. That's pretty much what I think most people do.
Okay.
And I think really works sometime. I can't remember if it was here or not.
Supervisors, we're live, so just letting you know your conversation is live. Thank you.
And Supervisor Fletcher has joined.
And Mr. Anderson, a flag usually comes up next.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of January 5th, 2021 to order. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, Chair Desmond. Before I call the roll, I would like to note for the record that all 5 supervisors are participating via teleconference. As such, all votes will be handled by a roll call vote. Additionally, before we begin, any members of the public that wish to provide oral testimony during today's meeting, please review the instructions posted on the Clerk of the Board's webpage. With that, I will now call the roll. Supervisor Vargas?
Present.
Supervisor Anderson?
Here.
Supervisor Lawson-Remer?
Present.
Supervisor Fletcher?
Fletcher here.
Chair Desmond?
Here. Thank you very much. Okay, next we'll go on to the our invocation and our pledge. This morning, our invocation is going to be delivered by Reverend Dr. J. Lee Hill, Jr. from the Christian Fellowship Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, and then will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Reverend Hill, if you'd like to lead us in the invocation.
Thank you. Let us pray. Eternal and faithful Creator, we gather on this beauteous morn to acknowledge you as the giver of every good and perfect gift. You are our strength and our shield, a solid rock upon which we are able to cling when the storms of life rage all around us. We give you thanks, O God, for the gift of this day, for the moments that stand in the distance where we might be in awe of your greatness and realize that your grace and mercy is what has brought us through. Today, bless those that are engaged in this political world. Brighten their day that they may see truth. Touch their mind that they may pursue justice. And soften their hearts that they may forever live in love. May your creative power birth in them greater faith and an indomitable spirit. Keep them from falling and grant courage from on high, infused with just determination. open them to receive. And even as they open their hands to receive from you, allow them to open their hands also to give to those on the margins. We seek your blessings over this day, the deliberations of heart, mind, and spirit, and offer this prayer in boundless hope. Amen.
Amen. And thank you, Reverend Hill. Thank you very much. Okay, if you could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Next, we're moving on to public communication. Let's see. There's an opportunity for the public to address the board on any item that's not posted on today's agenda. Mr. Clerk, do we have any speakers or do you have any statements to read?
Thank you, Chair Desmond. Yes, we have 5 written requests from the public. The first non-agenda comment is from Eleanor Thompson, and it reads, "Hello, County Supervisors. I would like to welcome the new supervisors to your important new role at the county. Please work productively together and cease any politicizing of agenda items. Please set an example for others to follow. Focus on public safety in our county, economic growth, jobs, food on the table, revenue to run the county, and pay your salaries. Infrastructure development and maintenance, roads, parks, libraries, community centers. Stop taking sides, picking favorites. Go San Diego." The second comment is from Deborah Raditz. It reads, "Why is the East County teacher-only COVID testing site closed? The schools in the Cajon Valley District are open and have been since the end of September. That site allowed fast and convenient access to testing for school personnel. Closing all sites makes no sense when East County schools are open. You are telling us to wait until the rest of the county catches up with us? Please reopen the site before we return to school on January 11th. The third comment is from Sean Brown. It reads, "How does one report COVID violations such as mass gatherings, businesses that are allowing indoor dining, etc.? The fourth comment is from Danny Barnes. It reads, "Address the closing of small businesses and the following of the science that is clearly being ignored at this time. Electing officials at this time is empty gesture. We need an opportunity in the session to address the issues the public is truly concerned about, such as returning to work and school. Please provide the numbers during the session of cases from indoor dining versus outdoor dining. Also, why Fourth Appellate Court overruled a judge's ruling at Newsom's request." The last comment is from Jerry Kupat. It reads, "There are businesses open, such as nail salons, when they're not supposed to be open. I've seen circumstances where they were trying to conceal what they were doing, or they were blatantly disregarding them by having their restaurant at max capacity in the open for everyone to see. The Board of Supervisors needs to crack down on these businesses that are showing disregard for state and county health orders and contributing to the spread of COVID-19. That concludes non-agenda public communication this morning, Mr. Chair.
So we have no other in-person speakers?
There are no requests to speak this morning. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Next, we'll proceed with the formation of the consent calendar. And Mr. Clerk, what I'd like to do, since there's only 3 items on the agenda today, I'd like to pull all 3 items, 1, 2, and 3, so that we can discuss them all. And I'd actually like to combine 2 and 4, if that's okay with the rest of the board. I'll just pull those items so they'll all be part of discussion for today's.
Mr. Chair, I'll just jump in real briefly. Item 3, our closed session matters, will be considered at the conclusion of the board's public session. And I'll also note that for item 2, there was an errata that has been distributed to the board and posted online and made available to the public that amends the proposed roster of Board of Supervisors member appointments to boards, commissions, and committees to recommend that Supervisor Desmond serve as the primary representative and Supervisor Lawson Reamer serve as the alternate representative for the San Diego County, North San Diego County Transit Development Board.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to item 1. This is the selection of the chair, the vice chair, and the chair pro tem of the 2021 Board of Supervisors. I take it there's no presentation on this, is there, Andrew, a staff presentation?
There's no staff presentation, Mr. Chair.
I'll open this up to the rest of the Board of Supervisors for any comments or motions.
I would like, good morning. I would like to make a motion to nominate Supervisor Nathan Fletcher for chair, myself for vice chair, and Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer for chair pro tem.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Can I make an amendment to that motion? I would like to amend to nominate Joel Anderson for pro tem instead of myself.
Is all people willing to take the positions they've been nominated for? So with that amendment, is that, so you want to second it with that amendment?
Yeah.
Okay, is the maker of the motion, Supervisor Vargas, are you okay with that amendment? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. I guess, Mr. Anderson, are you willing to serve as the pro tem?
It's very gracious and I'd gladly accept. Thank you.
All right, do we have any further discussion? All right, no other further discussion. I'd like to put that then to a vote, or could we please have a roll call vote, Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. Supervisor Vargas?
Yes.
Supervisor Anderson?
Aye.
Supervisor Lawson-Remer?
Yes.
Supervisor Fletcher?
Aye.
And Chair Desmond?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, that motion passes unanimously with all supervisors being present and voting aye.
Well, with that, I will pass the virtual gavel over to Supervisor Chair Fletcher.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Desmond. We're going to take just a brief 5-minute recess to reset, and then we will reconvene and close out the rest of our business for today. So thank you all. We'll be back with you in about 5 minutes. All right, thank you. With that, we will call our meeting back to order. I'll give everyone a minute to join back in. Thank you. It is a tremendous honor to be selected to lead the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. And as the new chair of the board, I will work tirelessly for a county with more opportunity, more fairness, more equity, and more justice. For many decades now, the county has been governed by a very conservative Board of Supervisors, and the voters elected them, and they governed consistent with their values. But times change, and now the voters have elected a new group of more progressive supervisors, and we will govern consistent with our values. Let me be clear, our values begin with a commitment to building a future where everyone is treated as equal, where everyone belongs. Regardless of your country of birth, your immigration status, your indigenous roots, the color of your skin, your gender, sexual orientation, or your economic status, we are absolutely and unequivocally committed to a county government that you know represents and cares for you. We need to make San Diego County a place where we lead the world on tackling climate change, investing in clean air and water, building affordable housing along accessible and efficient transit lines, making San Diego County a place where we don't just say Black Lives Matter and immigrants are appreciated, but a county that backs that up with intentional policies. Let's make San Diego County a place where quality healthcare is a presumed right, where food insecurity is unthinkable and good jobs with good resources are secure. Let's make San Diego County the place where behavioral health and homeless services are part of a coordinated system that ensures the right care is available to the right person at the right time. Let's make San Diego County a place where our government is open, transparent, accessible, and honest. One where all voices are heard, all ideas are considered and respected, and opportunities exist for everyone. Our values, combined with what has been described as the fierce urgency of now, will light and guide our way to a better future. 2 years ago this week, I joined this board and promised to push for change, to drive a new agenda in a new direction. We had more success than I thought was possible. Investing county resources to protect our immigrants when the Trump administration literally kicked them to the curb. Tackling issues of racial injustice with substantive and real reforms. Putting us on a path for environmental justice and a final recognition that we cannot escape or evade the obligation to confront the realities of climate change. Increased funding for behavioral health more than ever before, for mental health treatment and substance abuse. And the daily fight to respect the lives of our most vulnerable citizens, to trust in public health, and confront, not avoid, the difficult realities of a global pandemic. We did all of that and a lot more, passing nearly 70 policies. We did some good work, but it wasn't enough. There is more to do, and we're going to do it. After a very long and at times tiring 2020, I am revitalized and renewed by the presence of new colleagues. Supervisor Nora Vargas, you have always been a leader and a trailblazer. Your experience, your commitment, your passion will be a tremendous asset. You will push our county government. You will hold our county government accountable. And I know that you will never forget who or why you choose to serve. You've made history, and I'm confident you will continue to do so. Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer, an environmentalist, an economist, a lawyer, a mother, global perspective, national experience, impeccable values. I can't wait to see you get to work on where we're headed in the future. Supervisor Joel Anderson, we served together in the legislature, and I saw someone who has a unique ability to hold true to your convictions, but also be willing to find common ground. I know that you care deeply for the residents of your district, and I know the obligation to serve means something foundational to you, and I stand ready to work with you. Supervisor Jim Desmond, well, let's not get carried away here. Let's just see how it goes with you. But transforming our community into the fair, equitable, and inclusive place we know it all can be is the goal for San Diego County. But I'm under no illusion it will be easy. We are driven by the belief that we can change things, we can make them better. We can have a positive and lasting impact on our county. Each and every one of us can leave our mark. But the status quo will always have its defenders. Robert F. Kennedy once said, "Progress is a nice word, but change is its motivator, and change has its enemies." Those not committed to the difficult task of governing will often sit on the sidelines and give the common refrain of "it's too much, it's too little, it's too soon." The calls to set low expectations, cut them into half, and delay them will be strong. But as a county, we aren't interested in better sameness. We aren't interested in improved means for unimproved ends. We have to be prepared to accept hard facts and confront uncomfortable truths. At times, we will make mistakes, and when we make a mistake, we will admit it, correct course, and carry on. There will be setbacks we have to endure, obstacles we will overcome, but all while never losing sight of what we are fighting for. There's a sign outside my office that has 3 things written on it. We only do hard things, you're never out of the fight, and fortes fortuna juvat, fortune favors the bold. We only do hard things means we don't look away from the most pressing needs of our community, lingering problems decades in the making. The easy things have been done. We have to tackle the hard ones. The Marines taught me that you're never out of the fight. I've been knocked down, knocked back, even knocked out a time or two. But you get up. Time and again, you get up and you get back in the fight. And the same will hold true for us as a county. And fortes fortuna juvat simply means that fortune favors the bold. We have to be bold, and our community will be better because of that. 2020 was a hell of a year, not just for our county, but for the entire world. A global pandemic that exposed the inequities built into our society, one that showed the power of disinformation. With record number of cases, deaths, significant stress on our healthcare system, and new strains of COVID-19 present in our community, at the same time, folks continue to advocate defiance of public health measures. Measures that are designed to not only save lives, but measures that are designed to get our small businesses back open. With all of that, the coming months present our most difficult test in overcoming coronavirus. And while I'm grateful there's a light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccine, we will have to work harder than ever before to simultaneously confront the challenge of COVID and successfully, efficiently, and transparently oversee the administration of the vaccine. And then we have to truly build back better. A better world for those with underlying health conditions. A better world for those small businesses who have been decimated through no fault of their own. A better world for service workers who have been put on the front lines, expected to go to work without access to health care or the support that they need to take care of their families. We cannot unsee the inequities that COVID-19 has put in front of us. Just as we can't unsee that, we cannot unsee the realities of the racial injustices in our society. 2020 was a time of reflection and reckoning with the original sin that this country was built on. Black and brown people unjustly losing their lives. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Andres Guardado, all lives lost to injustice, a demand and cry for action. These are things that are within our control to make better. To do all of this, we must thoroughly evaluate the way things have been done, looking and finding, when available, a better way. It's time that we tear down the pillars of inequity that have been used to hold up old traditions and ways of thinking while holding down generations of San Diegans and immigrants. I often think about how this county must have looked in previous decades. My wife was born here. Her father, my father-in-law, came to this country like so many. A Mexican immigrant working in North County strawberry farms. It was a county that did not acknowledge their existence or appreciate their contribution. We can change that. We can build escalators of opportunity for everyone. Each policy, each decision, each action, each day will be an opportunity to take another solid step that moves past inequities and struggles and helps everyone have the opportunity to climb to new heights. Another solid step on the road to a more perfect union. The framework for the future of San Diego County will lead us on the path to a more perfect county as well. Starting with our January 12th Board of Supervisors meeting, this new board will vote on foundational policies that build the framework we need to scale San Diego County to new heights in the future. With these policies, we will tackle racial justice, re-examine criminal justice practices on how we can responsibly reform them in a way to help end the cycle of recidivism. We will seek economic justice. This county should be a place where no one who works full-time lives in poverty, a place where we work with organized labor as our allies, fighting for fairness, decent wages, and the middle class. We will pursue health equity, acknowledging and working towards affordable access to quality health care for everyone in our county. The ideal of environmental justice will not just live in a document on a shelf, it will be chased at until we catch it. And to ensure we can get it all done, there are some fundamental county operations that are going to need to change when it comes to our finances, transparency, our legislative agenda. We have to realign our mindset and approach as it relates to other governing entities. As a county, we value and appreciate the actions of our governor and our state legislature. We look forward to working collaboratively with them to achieve our shared goals. With the new mayor and Todd Gloria, we can finally turn the page and start a new relationship, a new partnership between the County of San Diego and the City of San Diego, one as true partners, tied together by geography and united in purpose. The same is true for each of the other cities in San Diego County. And we eagerly await the Biden-Harris administration, a federal government with consistency of approach and opportunities for joint effort. Over the next several days leading up to our Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday, January 12th and Wednesday, January 13th, my team, along with some of the other supervisors and community leaders, will be rolling out different pieces in greater detail of the framework for the future of San Diego County. Our work on Tuesday will simply lay the foundation for the significant changes that are going to come in the years ahead of us. I want to take a moment in closing to thank those activists and advocates who worked for so many years to make today a reality. You organized. You were willing to hit the streets, walking door to door. Those who, despite the odds and the history, believed that our county government could, and more importantly, would change. For each and every one of you, today is your day. And to our county workers, those who get up daily, not driven by politics or policies, just a desire to serve the public. For each and every one of you, we thank you and we appreciate you. And to the members of Team Fletcher, the engine that runs this all, I appreciate you and value you more than you will ever know. None of what we are going to do would be possible without your tireless and selfless daily work, perseverance, and occasional patience. It's a common refrain these days to say, let's make America great again. Or those who say, let's go back to basics. We aren't looking to the past as anything other than motivation about what needs to change. We're looking to a brighter future. This is an exciting time for our community. This is an exciting time for our county. I am honored to be your chair. Now let's get to work. Thank you. All right, thank you. With that out of the way, we will move to agenda item 2. Agenda item 2, which is the presentation of reports for committee assignments. Given this is a board letter I docketed, I would make a motion to approve. Are there any board member comments or questions? Do we have any requests for public comment?
Chair Fletcher, we do not have any requests to speak on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't see anything. 1 second here, I'll get my monitor on.
Let me make it.
I can't see if there's any requests to speak. No? Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
All right.
Sure.
Yes, Supervisor Desmond.
Thank you very much. I have some comments on.
Of course.
On this. I guess this sort of, I'm combining this with 4, just talking to both of them at this point. You know, this is an exciting time, and we have the opportunity as a new board to build a team and move our county forward together. We should encourage differing opinions and debate the issues rather than punishing those who may disagree. I was disappointed about the less than equitable distribution of the proposed committee assignments brought forth by Chairman Fletcher. We should not have a divisive start on day one. I realize elections have consequences. However, I feel this is a very divisive first step for a new board. Our county motto, the noblest motive is the public good. Of the 65 primary county committee positions, Chairman Fletcher, you proposed that I serve and fill only 7 of those 65 positions, and that includes NCTD. The next lowest number of primary committee appointments allocated for a supervisor is 13, and the highest allocation is 21 primary appointments for one of the supervisors. So we have one supervisor with 21 primary committee appointments and one with 7, 3 times more. This is not, in my opinion, an equitable distribution. This is not for the public good. This is not good government. This is actually retribution. And for the past 2 years, the Board of Supervisors acted for the public good and unanimously approved committee positions that were equitably distributed to all board members. And during that time, we all agreed to share those positions fairly. I'm hoping this board can and will do better as a team than this. So I'd like to make a few proposals for changes to this agenda item. First, I want to withdraw the Sandag Committee recommendations that I had in item 4. I only want to focus on the alternate positions of seat 1 and seat 2. So there are 2 regular positions on Sandag, and only 1 alternate position is being proposed. In the past, we've had an alternate for each of the 2 regular positions. So I would like to propose to keep Supervisor Vargas as the alternate for seat 1 and ask to allow myself to be the alternate for seat 2 for the unincorporated area. Each city on Sandag has a primary and an alternate position, and so should the unincorporated area. The tally vote would remain the same as posted with Reamer, Anderson, and Vargas in that order. So I'd like to ask Supervisor Vargas if she would be okay to be just the alternate to seat 1. If that's okay with you, Supervisor Vargas.
Can you repeat what you're asking me?
If you're right now, you are the alternate for both seat 1 and seat 2. I'm asking that there be 2 alternates, that you be the alternate for seat 1, which is Supervisor Lawson Reimers, and then I would be the alternate for seat 2 for Supervisor Anderson.
No.
All right. The next one I'll move on to is Lafco. This is a committee that primarily handles district boundaries and municipal service reviews for the unincorporated areas of the county, primarily District 2 and District 5. Since 1995, District 2 and District 5 have filled the primary seats on the Lafco board with District 1 as the alternate seat. At the December Lafco meeting, I was unanimously voted to, by a bipartisan board, the vice chair of Lafco starting this month. As an alternate, I will not be able to fulfill the wishes of the Lafco board. One of the biggest issues facing Lafco this year involves my district, with the Fallbrook and Rainbow Water districts proposing to separate from the San Diego County Water Authority. We've been working on a path first to keep all entities working together, and if not, at least then an equitable separation could be worked out. So I'd like to continue working with that effort as a regular board member. Supervisor Vargas, again, given that Lafco deals primarily with the unincorporated areas and that I would be the incoming vice chair, I'd like to ask if you would allow me to take the regular position and for you to take the alternate position on Lafco.
No.
Well, Mr. Anderson, would you allow swapping with me between the regular and the alternate positions on Lafco?
I would.
All right, thank you, Mr. Anderson. Finally, the multiple species conservation program, North County multiple species, the multiple species conservation program and the North County multiple species conservation program. I agree with Chair Fletcher that these two programs should be combined. South County has a MSCP. North County is the one that is next in the works and next in line and is being worked on now and is primarily located within my district. I'm not on this committee at all. So I'd like to ask if Supervisor Anderson or Supervisor Lawson Reamer would allow me to represent my district on this review committee. Would either one of you be willing to swap and allow me to be on the North County multiple species conservation program, the committee? Supervisor Reamer?
Lawson Reamer.
Lawson Reamer?
It's okay. No, this issue is very important to my constituents.
Well, Supervisor Anderson, I hate to ask you again, but I'm going to.
I would be willing.
All right, thank you. So I guess I would like to ask the maker of the motion and the seconder of the motion if they would allow the changes between Lafco and the MSCP committee between the swap between myself and Mr. Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Desmond. So your request is to accept an amendment to the original motion that would put you in the place of Supervisor Anderson on Lafco and you in the place of Supervisor Anderson on the Multiple Species Conservation Program, North County. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm willing to accept that as a seconder of the motion. Willing?
Yes.
Got it. All right. We have a motion and a second to approve the boards and committees. Are there any other further comments or discussion? With that, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
And Mr. Chair, also note that that includes the corrections noted by the errata for the North San Diego County Transit Development Board.
Very well.
And with that, Supervisor Vargas?
Yes.
Mr. Vargas?
Yes.
And
Aye.
Supervisor Anderson?
Aye.
Supervisor Lawson Reamer? Supervisor Lawson Reamer?
Aye.
Thank you. And Supervisor Desmond?
I would like to thank Supervisor Anderson for allowing me to take those two positions and vote yes.
And Chair Fletcher?
Fletcher, aye.
Chair Fletcher, that motion passes unanimously with all board members being present and voting aye.
Thank you. I'd ask the clerk if we need to deal with agenda item 4, if we combine those two, if we've sufficiently addressed that topic.
I'd be willing to pull agenda item 4.
Item 4 is withdrawn. Thank you.
Great, thank you. With that, that concludes our regular business for the meeting of today's Board of Supervisors. We will adjourn into closed session. We look forward to reconvening next Tuesday, January 12th, and thank everyone for their time.
The board will now recess into closed session to consider those matters listed under item 3 on today's agenda. If there are any reportable actions, they will be reported out at the conclusion of closed session. Thank you.